But on top of that, Rutgers University in New Jersey, they've given in to 8 of the 10 demands, which sets a crazy precedent because now every university in America, all the students know now, if we just act up, start graffitiing and trespassing, we'll get what we want. But they included, they're going to establish an Arab cultural centre in response to these students. They'll consider cutting ties with the University of Tel Aviv. They'll consider ending all deals with companies associated with Israel. And I could name a dozen other universities who have acquiesced to similar demands. And so they've got a very dangerous situation now where they've taught uni students that they run the place.
Oh, yeah, which is why we're seeing these upcrops here in Australia and elsewhere in the West, because they're like, well, it's working beautifully in campuses across America. Check out this one student, though. Obviously, she's one of the ones who's been disciplined for her action on campus. And here she is playing the hard done by martyr.
I have family coming in who I have to let them know to, not come to my graduation ceremonies. I'm just disappointed. I mean, I'm a 2020 high school grad, so I wasn't able to walk then. And so, here it is. I'm not able to walk now. I was doing what I believed was right, and I still believe it to be right. I would stand up for the cause again. So much harm has been done to all of those people already. I am safe. I am fine. I might not graduate, and that might harm future job prospects and stuff like that, but I'm not I'm not like in physical danger.
I think there's a few more things than that that harm your job prospects, young lady. But how do you like this? Someone's actually being disciplined for acting as a massive destabiliser on their entire campus, and now she's the one that's badly done by, and this is just so horrible, but she'd do it again for the cause. That she clearly knew very little about. She was just like, terrible things have happened to these people, and on October 7th. They really did. Terrible, terrible things happened.
You mentioned that Australian university students are watching what's happening in America and being encouraged. And they're getting encouragement, unfortunately, from our Education Minister as well. Jason Clare was asked over the weekend if terms like intifada or from the river to the sea, which are being chanted on Australian university campuses, were intimidating for Jewish students. Have a listen to what he said.
Claire, on your previous point, though, about intimidation and anti-Semitism, calls like from the river to the sea or calls like intifada, do they rise to the standard?
I've seen people say that those words mean the annihilation of Israel. I've seen people say that it means the opposite. I've seen people say that they're slogans that Israeli political parties have used here. What I'd say is this. What I want all Australians to be arguing for, to be calling for, is a two-state solution.
So the Education Minister doesn't know that intifada means a violent uprising, particularly against Israel. He's heard people say this, he's heard people say that, but he himself is just kind of clueless about it. Well, today there was a press conference with Jason Clare standing right beside Anthony Albanese, and Anthony Albanese was asked what he thought of those slogans, and he appeared to slap down his Education Minister.
It is a slogan that calls for opposition to a two-state solution. My position is very clear and the government's position is clear, and it's been a bipartisan position for a long period of time.
It's interesting how uncomfortable the Prime Minister looked being asked that question, and he didn't answer it directly. It's a call for opposition to a two-state solution rather than the more simple and direct answer that intifada is a call for a violent uprising against the Jews, and clearly it's wrong. But I think there was a bit more going on here because Anthony Albanese made strong statements in support of Israel over the weekend, but at a private meeting with rabbis. And we only know he made statements in support of Israel because someone at the meeting leaked it out. So it's typical two-faced elbow, saying things to one group and then something else to another group. But at that press conference, I'm not so convinced that Jason Clare was slapped down, because what was happening there, while Elbow is sounding like he's coming out in defence of Jewish people, albeit very weakly.
I wouldn't even give him that.
Jason Clare has got a high Muslim population in his electorate. I think it's 29%. So Jason Clare doesn't lose any skin from that little rebuke by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is seen to take somewhat of a stand for Israel, and Jason Clare stands there having satisfied a large majority of people in his electorate for having made the comments he did.